Hey, Lord Henry, welcome back. As always, thanks for being here. Hey, Darren, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Apologize to everyone last stream for being gone. I don't like unexpected things like that popping up and interrupting my schedules. Hey, David, welcome back. But yes, all the contractors are now done. Hey, Eric, welcome back. Yeah, the contractors have finished installing the air conditioning unit outside. They've left, so after 11 months, well, I can't say that's entirely done. I still have to build the new gazebo tomorrow and move the firewood rack back out there onto the patio with the patio furniture, but for all intents and purposes, all the contracting work after 11 months is now done, so I'm glad it feels like I have a new house. I mean, I do, for the most part. The entire first floor is completely brand new, but now I get to enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, them cutting my internet line was not a thing, and then the freeze delaying the patio work, so it had to happen during the live stream week, and with them having to haul everything through the house, I wasn't able to set up in front of the TV and do anything. So yeah, it was a long couple of weeks waiting for it to get fixed. Oh, you're starting a new campaign. Is it out of the box or is it homebrew? Hey, Smurf, welcome. Oh, is it the Rise of Tiamat? Oh, thanks, Smurf. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Thank all of you for putting up with the shenanigans over the past couple of weeks. I'm always amazed that you guys are able to hang in there after all that stuff. I certainly do appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the oaths you want to avoid. Your DM would be pulling his hair out trying to figure out if you're going to break your oath or not. I'd also be anxious to know if the game is utilizing the expanded rule sets as well. I really had a lot of fun playing my X-Blade Paladin. Oh, nice, Darren. Should be a lot of fun. It's a very interesting module. Yeah, if you're going through the whole Tyranny of Dragons thing, then yeah. Can't remember what the name of that first one is. Eric, do you remember? Is it something like the Dragon Queen's Horde or something like that? Is the first one in that series? It's been a while since I looked at it. Eric, you know better than that. You know all you have to do is make a choice. Yeah, and that's why I was asking whether it was homebrew or not, because yeah, most of the stuff that I've played recently anyway. Like I say, it's been a while since I played anyway, but yeah, I think I know it's the Tyranny of Dragon. Yeah, oh yeah, Horde of the Dragon Queen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know Tyranny of Dragons is 2 modules, and Rise of Tiamat was the second one. I just couldn't remember what the exact name was of the first one, but yeah, Lord Henry, what we're going to be doing with this one is, I found out the first playthrough where we did a respec, is respecs take up a lot of time at the start. I could probably shorten it. I'm a little long-winded when it comes to explaining the builds I'm doing, but I don't want to waste that much time in both playthroughs. So what's going to happen here is that now that I have the computer back, I'll respec my characters here in this party makeup off stream, so that we're not wasting time talking about them, and then people can go and refer to them. I can refer them to a different stream to look at the respec, but If there's going to be a completely different respec, like I did with the Paladin, one being Sentinel based, then I'll do a respec. But for right now, I don't have any plans to make the other characters, the origin characters, drastically different. So most of my respecs are going to be done in the Bard playthrough. Oh, that's awesome, Darren. Yeah, like I say, thank you. I'm glad to be back. The Bard is a fun character. I've loved playing Bards for a long time. With the rules expansions in 5e, they really came into their own a lot more. And I was really happy to see the class get a lot of boons and benefits out of the game. So it's a fun class to play. It really is. Yeah, my honor playthrough is kind of a combination of both of these. My main character is still a bard, but I've recruited Minthara. So Minthara is my paladin in my group. So I didn't have to get a hireling to do it. And I didn't really realize how powerful Minthara could be. Well, I'm going to. I'll say I'm going to recruit Minthara. For now, I've got a hireling because I'm not to the point in Act 2. I'm only about halfway through Act 1, but once I get to Act 2, I will be recruiting Minthara to be in the party. I went back and replayed her in my personal playthrough, my tactician playthrough, and it's kind of crazy how good she is as a paladin because of all of the illithid powers that she comes with when you rescue her. Hey Cyber, welcome. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, Lilsworn War Cleric and the interactions between them and Minthara, that ought to be fun. Yeah, Minthara's really good. She is. She's really good. A respec makes her obviously better, but she's really good. We'll go ahead and get started here. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 24 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Paladin gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes, I mentioned this in the Bard playthrough, we are now complete with all the contractors running through the house. After 11 months of construction, I have an entirely new first floor of my house and an entirely new patio that is completed now. We had the contractors here this morning finishing things up, and they are now finished and they're gone. So I have some building work on my own tomorrow on the patio and everything should be done. So hopefully we don't have anybody else digging up internet cables or causing us to miss anything else. But we'll kind of see how it goes. But I'm glad that's done, so hopefully everything should be going okay. The other big news, obviously, from the 15th or the 16th, I can't remember which, is hotfix 17, I believe. was released by Larian. This was mainly put out for a couple of reasons. One, they did some save file compression stuff to avoid having space overflow errors with not being able to sync your games or save your games because of the size of them, so they shrunk them down fairly dramatically. And then the other was to help put a temporary fix on the whole Gale leaving your party thing. Gale can leave your party straight up if you refuse to give him an item early on in the game when he's asking for them. And even the fix of being able to pick items remotely out of your camp chest or off of other characters didn't work with Gale asking for those items, so they've hopefully fixed that, where now there's kind of a workaround that they've installed while they work on a permanent fix for it to make it a lot harder for Gale to leave your party, basically, because you don't want to give him an item. So those were the main things that they did with it. There were a few other blockers that they and bugs that they fixed that were in part of hotfix 16, specifically with the Cazador fight and things like that. But for the most part, those were the two big things that they did of it. So make sure that you've got your game updated to make sure you're taking care of you've got all the latest updates and you have all access to all the latest fixes that they've been putting out. So I think that clears us on the admin notes. Now for a recap. So at the end of last episode, we had a misplay, and I left Astarion in a spot I shouldn't have, and he died. Now in the ensuing combat, we were able to take down the enemies with just the 3 remaining party members, but we need to obviously bring Astarion back, get him back in the party, and we can continue exploring on the east side of River Chionthar. There's still some areas to the south here that we need to explore, but that'll probably take us the first hour of the stream or something like that. And then we're going to be journeying on to the west side of the river. Now, we've already been over there to deal with some of the vendors in Moonrise because of the happenings at the Last Light Inn. But there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done on the north, to the north of Moonrise on that side of the river. So we're going to get into some of it today. There's a lot to do, but we'll do some exploration up over there after we finish up here on this side of the river. So we'll just go ahead and jump in. No, I didn't wipe out the grove. There's a way that was introduced in, I can't remember which patch it was, where you can recruit Minthara without having to wipe out the grove. You can knock her unconscious using non-lethal attacks inside the goblin camp, or if you let her attack the grove and then betray her and knock her out there. And when you do that, she will appear in Act 2, and you'll have a chance to recruit her. So here we are in the aftermath of our encounter here. So Gale, Shadowheart, my Paladin, and that's it. And that is because Astarion is no longer with us. And Astarion's body is here. We need to go back and to camp and resurrect him. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to group everybody up. And we don't need to take a rest. We just need to head to camp. Now we could do this with a revivify scroll as well. Yes, I've got a bunch of them, so we certainly could do that.
Thou hast now a bosom companion. Take care that thou art not distracted on thy quest, seeking the comforts of the flesh. Recall that in time, all becomes dust and bone. Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
So we have the option to resurrect someone here.
Thou must return with the proper payment.
Did I empty out?
This is the price of
Okay, no, I
balance.
still have gold.
Well counted. I recommend keeping my distance for a moment. By doom and dusk, I strike thy name from the archives. Rise.
You're no fun.
Okay, we can see if Astarion has anything to
What
say.
can I do for you, my friend?
Nope. Just like nothing ever happened. So while we're here, we can talk to Jaheira and just make sure there's no conversations.
You have news? I fear we do not have the luxury of time. Last light has fallen. We alone remain to stop Ketheric from marching on the city.
Okay, so nothing yet. So we'll just leave camp and head back out. And honestly, let's make sure we know exactly where we are on...
Trust no one. Let's get going.
What's next, I wonder?
Excellent choice.
Okay, so we have speak with animals. We've got... looks like everything is still
All right. What now?
set up where it needs to be, so let's deal with the aftermath of all of this. And I'm going to break my group here. And see if the disintegrating Nightwalkers keep me from getting caught in these vines. Nope. Which seems a little strange that they don't, but... but it is what it is.
Best be on my way.
Okay, so we'll just go up here and finish cleaning out the rest of this.
Always room for more?
Okay, we have a diary here. Talks about the fact that he was hiding from the needle blights. And he's looking for the chest that key that we picked up that it goes to. And that chest is here. So this gives you the Ring of Self-Immolation. This is a heat-based item. We've talked about this before. You can gain heat, and then you can use that heat to do fire damage to other or to enemies that you have, and it stacks up just like reverberation and lightning charges and all that sort of stuff. So just the fire-based version, where we have now seen thunder and lightning based, and we've seen psychic based, And now we've seen the fire-based version of that. Let's see if I can bypass all of this. Okay, so I can. So, looking at the map, we have this little area back here that we can jump across. We saw this in the Bard playthrough. There's not a whole lot there, but we can go look at it at some point. We need to start making our way. First, we're going to go back down here into this area and take a look at this, but we're going to start making our way into the southern areas on this side of the map. But for now, let's head back here and head straight west. Whoops. I can't remember if we've been up here or not. Haven't. So we'll just search this real quick. And another book that talks about Nier and the scouting that the Dwergar were doing for him. I think I ended up picking up that. Okay, so we're going to continue out the west side here, and I want to head back down here toward this direction where we had the fight with the measles.
Anything of use?
Did we search these chests? I can't remember. It doesn't look like we did.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
Actually, I still have space here. Because we're much shorter on gold on our Paladin playthrough than on our Bard one, I believe.
One day I'll catch a break.
Okay, so I went back and looked at the playthrough. I'm not entirely sure if that loose brick is a... I thought I saw it. I thought I saw it there. There it is. Huh. There's one tiny little pixel there, I guess, that you need to be able to find that movable brick. But I guess it is findable. And you see that's the potter's chest, and then you look around here, and we're in, obviously, a pottery area, and there's this chest over here that has potter's chest written on it. So that's the key for it. The question will be if I have enough strength on anybody to jump up there or not. Okay, I can. Okay, and this gives you the luminous gloves. So this is another one of the radiating orb glove setups. So when you, and we'll actually put this over to Shadowheart. She's not gonna like having that. And you can see that this is a worshiper of Selûne, and this is going to start one of the many ways to start the Selûnite Resistance questline. And that's going to... We've already started it. So we should investigate further in the Last Light Inn. So we'll have to head up there and see what's around, but it's also going to give us... Okay, so it doesn't give us that yet. We need to go over here to the Last Light Inn and take a look at it. So we can go ahead and do that real quick. I'm finished exploring the Potter's area here. I didn't know there was still stuff that we hadn't searched around here yet. I thought we had searched all of these things. Okay, yeah, we have. Alright, we'll come back and deal with that little section of it once we've cleared out this side of the river. That quest line isn't going to pick up until we get to the east side of the river anyway. So it's not a big deal.
Let's get on with it.
And with Shadowheart,
No one
that's
back
good
home
enough.
will ever believe this.
We can do a little more exploring here along this side. Because there is some stuff that we want to take a look at down here.
What am I to do?
Actually, how much space does he have left? He's got a lot.
No time to rest.
Okay, we want to make sure
wonder
that
what
we
the next move
have
is.
guidance here.
Let's move.
Okay.
Wits and blades always sharp. Trump.
Watch your back.
Can't afford to stay idle.
Okay, so we have this area here, and don't forget underneath here is another traveler's chest.
Someone there?
It's kind of hidden away.
Should be easy.
And in here you get the Ring of Twilight. So the Ring of Twilight is one of those obscured items. You gain a +1 bonus to your armor class while you're obscured. Now remember, if we're going to be fighting in darkness, we are going to be obscured. So we're going to gain a +1 bonus to our armor class while we are doing that. So it's an easy way to boost up anyone's armor class who's able to fight inside of
Have a lot on my mind.
that darkness. Well, you don't even have to be
anything.
fighting. Just as long as you're standing in it, you're going to gain a bonus to it. But if you're going to be standing there, you better be fighting. So here we have an interrogation transcript where the Harpers were trying to find Ketheric Thorm's spies in the village. And we do have a skeleton here in the middle of the room. Nothing. Okay, so we'll head back out here. We'll group everybody up and let's look at a couple of items that we've picked up. So the first, the Ring of Twilight here. So we have the Shadow Cloaked Ring, where we're dealing an additional 1d4 damage against targets that we're fighting inside of the darkness that we're fighting in. And then we have the caustic band, which has given us a straight +2 damage to all of our attacks. Now, we've already got a 21 armor class here, so we're doing pretty good as far as that goes. Not necessarily sure that we are going to get a huge bonus out of the additional one. And we actually have 22 armor class because of the evasive shoes. So that would up it to 23, but we'd have to give up a +2 damage, straight damage all the time, or a 1d4 when we're fighting in darkness. So probably not something that we want to use there. For Astarion, we can up his to 18 because of it, and that's probably a much better trade-off for him to have. I'm looking to see what other things we have here. Okay, so he's being cold-based. Yeah, he's got Sunwalker's Gift. He doesn't need that. Okay, yep. And then we also picked up the Luminous Gloves. So the Luminous Gloves, like I said, when the wearer deals radiant damage, the target receives 2 turns of radiating orb. So the Luminous Armor, whenever I deal radiant damage, I cause a radiant shockwave, and that radiant shockwave gives radiating orb to everything in a 3-meter radius. So you can really start to stack up. She's using the Herbalist Gloves right now, which is just going to get rid of poisoning. So I can really stack up the radiating orb stacks on people with these gloves, because now I'm going to be able to do a radiant shockwave to everybody around me. If they miss me, they're going to take radiant damage, which means they're going to get 2 turns of radiating orb, and they're going to get radiating shockwave. So I can really stack up the radiating orb stacks here. And again, radiating orb means that all those entities are going to have -1 to attack rolls. So it really can make it so that enemies just don't hit you hardly at all. So another one of those radiating orb set pieces that you can have that can be really, really useful. So we got a couple of different ways we can head out here. We can head out. There are 3 bridges that cross the river. We're not going to go this way. We're going to head out down this way.
Light on my feet.
Okay, and we're going to head over here toward this area here. Now, this area normally has an encounter in it. It won't now. Again, well, it will. It's just going to be different. And you can start to see a little bit of it. They actually replaced that with a dead Githyanki. That's actually interesting.
Always room for more.
Oh, we would have already done that encounter anyway. We already did that encounter. Yes, we already did it anyway because... No, we didn't. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah, we did that encounter down here. Sorry, I was confused about what bridge we were. This is the Toll House Bridge. We already did the encounter down here where we would have met Roland. And the shadows down here. We've already done that. So that's my fault. I was confused about which bridge we were on. Okay, so we have another bridge here. This is the second of the 3 bridges. That leads you across the river.
Dark justiciars who fell long ago in service of Shah and Ketheric Thorm.
Into the city itself. Okay, so this is the letter of surrender that was written during the original conflict between the Druids, Harpers, and the Sharan forces under Ketheric Thorm. You can learn more about it. Basically, there was not going to be any quarter given during that conflict. Okay, so some Githyanki items here. So, talks about another route here. Again, you could have gotten into the Shadowlands by not having gone through the Mountain Pass and or not gone through the Underdark. So, well, or, not and, but or through either one. So this would let you know that there's something else back in the Mountain Pass that you need to go look at that has to do with the Githyanki that are out here.
Better not be cursed.
Should probably have guidance in while I'm walking around out here, but I think I'm okay. Yeah. Okay, so we've already explored down into this area here, I believe, because this is the way that we entered into Moonrise, was by making our way down here. But we'll go look and just make sure.
Oh, something good here, I hope.
Did I just miss this chest? I must have. Okay, and here's the third bridge to take you into Moonrise Towers. So, one up here, second one here, third one down here. The 3 ways to get across the river into the city itself. So, we're going to head back up into this direction here.
Never wanted the easy path.
Make sure we... Okay, so we didn't explore some of there. Didn't pick up everything here. Oh, okay. So this leads you to, depending upon how you've gotten into here, you might not have explored the north yet, where the Potter's house is. This is more information about the Selûnite Resistance questline. It's talking about the abandoned house that once belonged to a potter. So the Sharans were trying to find the Selûnite Resistance, obviously. So here, yeah. We found the old notes of a Sharan Inquisitor. So all of this would lead you back up there to that general location.
Dark justiciars who fell long ago in service of Shah and Ketheric Thorm.
Don't mind if I do. Shouldn't mind my step.
Got some nice ballistae over here. Okay, and then we get into this broken tower area here. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, they found it. I hit the wrong button. I wanted to toggle my group, but didn't matter, we found it. Okay, you have more ballistae up here. You can jump up and down from this area here. We're going to take the other way up there.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Which is right over here. I believe we've searched all of this.
What's inside?
We'll go check real quick.
There was a battle here once. A large one.
Okay, so it doesn't look like we have. So this is Kethric's speech to his troops before that fight. There's going to be a bunch of these keys which open up some of the random chests that are sitting around here as well.
Light on my feet. Better be cautious. These boots have seen everything.
Okay, so for here,
Pickets, ballistas, siege engines. A little old-fashioned too. 100 years? More?
okay, so we passed our history check there to let you know what all of this stuff is from. It's all from the original conflict. Again, Astarion probably doesn't have the strength to jump up here.
My faith will guide me. You need some support.
Got a long road ahead.
Fallen members of the Emerald Enclave. Casualties in the war against Ketheric Thorm years past.
Okay, so now you learn what they really are. These are druids that were fighting with the Harpers against Ketheric.
Fallen druids of the Emerald
Whoops.
Enclave. They died trying to stop Ketheric Thorm long ago.
Okay, guidance wore off, so let's bring that back.
On I go. You need to pick me up.
Can't give up now.
Okay. Then we have this area up here, which leads us up here through this. And you can see that we have a different way to get there. It's around this way, so that's the way that we're going to go.
Should mind my step.
Astarion, where are you going? Thank you.
Breathe quiet. Move with care. Time to press ahead.
Okay, we have a wooden chest here we can search. And again, talking about the city of Reithwin itself and how the Moon Maiden, how the the change between worshipping Saluna and worshipping Shar has taken place because of Ketheric.
Can't afford any mistakes.
Gotta make my next move.
That's curious.
Okay, so we found the dirt mound.
I need to find a way forward.
Do have an outhouse here, and yes, you can sit in the outhouse on the dirty toilet seat if you'd like. The things that Larian programs into their game.
Can't risk being in open view.
Need to keep focused.
I can be subtle sometimes. What path lies before me?
Okay, there's some more crafting supplies up here at the top. that is true, Eric. Okay, and now we should be familiar with where we are at. This is the location where we would have met the convoy if we had come in through Breshwalak. Okay, so we should be all up to speed on where we are now, and what's happened. And why they are not here, obviously, is because we ambushed them on the road. Okay, so we'll just finish opening all of this section of the map up. And we should be able to head over to the other side.
Open up.
This beast didn't go down without a fight.
Bet that'll fit in my bag.
Okay, here's where we learn about the original journey of the Tieflings from the Emerald Enclave toward Baldur's Gate and what happened with them here.
Gored to death by the look of it.
Okay, was wondering when we were going to run out. It's probably the ring mail that's doing it. Yes, we'll move over one more thing and that should... Yes, recover it.
Ready. Got to press on. Perfectly hidden.
Okay, it takes you out here. Nothing else that you can see. This is that area across that we saw in the Bard playthrough where you can jump across here. There's a traveler's chest down here with some random stuff in it. Nothing very impressive. We will end up heading back there at some point just to clear it out, but nothing that we need to deal with right now. And again, if we were entering from Breshwalak here, we'd end up coming through over them this way. Okay, and here's the pathway that leads you up there. So we'll just do a quick search of some of the crates and stuff up here, and that should be it. Okay, and here's your path, or your path back to the mountain pass that we've already fully explored. So we don't need to take a look at any of this, so...
I'll take this way.
So let's head back. We'll deal with this one last area here, and then we can head over to the other side of the bridge. That last area is over here. And we'll head down this way to get over there. Okay, there's a heavy chest hidden back here behind. I can't remember if we have a key for this. We do not.
What now? Let's crack it open.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Okay. So now we'll head
I
back
must keep
around
going.
here. Go check out that last area. I believe there's an area back behind here. Can't remember if there's anything in it or not, though. We'll go look at it real quick. Let's see. Yeah, there's an area over here. So let's go in here and do some...
Drider's caravan came from here, I'll wager.
That it did.
They won't be back here anytime soon, thanks to us.
Thanks to us. Yes.
Better get to it.
I can't remember if there's anything back here or not. Skeleton with some items, and that looks like it. Yeah, this is all marked as chasm. Okay, camera.
Shouldn't have wished to
you.
live in more interesting times. What path lies before me?
Okay, and this last little area is over here. Dealing with this. And for this, we're going to want to approach it somewhat carefully here. Okay, we have some detection cones. And you can see what we're dealing with again. Shadow cursed vines, vine blights, and that sort of stuff out here in this location as well. Now you can see there are a few different paths to be taken here. There's some knotted roots here. There's a path that leads all the way down here. There's also a path into the base of this tower here, but there's no ladder to get up from down there. I have seen one of them jump up there, but very, very rarely, to the point where it's not even worth considering for the most part. So once we trigger this, you're going to see they're going to come out of the woodwork. There are quite a few of them down here that we're going to have to deal with. But Gale, again, kind of makes this... Well, he won't now. He'll still make it fairly trivial, though, with the fireballs that he has.
Where my eye is itching.
So we're going to bring Astarion up here have him start this so that we can get the advantage on initiative. We're going to take our Paladin and just move them behind the wall here.
Ready. Silent as the grave.
Okay, and we'll get Astarion to start this off here. Okay, so we got in a few attacks before the round started. So now you can see that there are 6 enemies down here. There are 3 of the Vine Blights. And there are 3 Needle Blights. So again, the Vine Blights are the ones to really worry about. They are the ones that have that constrained attack, which can damage you quite a bit, as well as holding you in place for the Needle Blights to come after you. So, for the most part, what happens here is that either the Needle Blights stay down here and do ranged attacks against you if you stay visible, or if you move back out of the way, they will all come up here. Whether they climb up the knotted roots or whether they come around this way, it just depends on, you know, how they split. So, I'm going to try and... We've got a few of them grouped up here. Let's see if we can take out this Needle Blight in the center that we were working on. Okay, a crit, that was nice. See if we can do an offhand attack here and kill him and get an explosion. Okay, that got us the explosion. That really damaged the other one and killed the other Needle Blight that was there. So now let's get Dread Ambusher here. Perfect. And now we'll just move Astarion back away from the edge. We're going to let them kind of come up toward us for a turn. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that they all try and normally end up here on this little pathway area. So 22 here. Sure, let's throw that in. It's got 7 hit points left. I don't think any of the others are close enough to get damaged by this. But now that target is burning. So remember, our offhand attack with the Fire Stoker is going to deal an additional 1d4 piercing damage to burning targets. Okay, yeah, didn't look like they were close enough. Okay, so again, we're going to drag Astarion back away from the edge.
Why am I doing this? I venture forth.
Okay, so let's see what we have here in the way of options for how this can land. So that's not where we want him to go. That path is all interrupted. Let's see how far up here I can move him. So it's all because he can't see down over this ledge to see down there. So I'm going to move Gale all the way back. I'm going to hold his turn, or hold his action for another turn. And I'm going to bring Shadowheart up here instead. Shadowheart with her 19 armor class. I'm going to move her up here in front of my Paladin.
Waiting with bated breath.
Secrecy above all.
And have her get ready to take the hit here. Because again, when that happens, she's going to trigger Radiating Orb if he misses.
Let's turn someone inside out.
Dash is good. Okay, so this one's moving. He's going to try and attack Shadowheart. Oh. Come on. Okay. So the detection cones are there.
Quiet now.
Nope, I can't get a hit with Shadowheart there. But I can get into this fight here. We'll see how well he rolls on initiative. Okay, rolled poorly. Now Astarion, remember we've got a burning target here, so Astarion's going to do additional offhand damage. Okay, so she had risky attack. What is the advantage from risky attack she has, chat? Oh, this is it. That's why. I forgot she had the risky ring on. She's got advantage but on attack rolls, disadvantage on saving throws, and that's why she failed the restriction saving throw. Now I get it. An 80% and she rolls a 1. Well, there's our first 1 of the day. So hopefully we're good. Okay, so we should get sneak attack here. Ooh, rolled a crit. Nice. So the offhand attack. So this is the one with 3 hit points down here, okay? There's Radiating Orb triggering. So the Mister caused the radiant damage, which caused Radiating Orb to trigger. And the radiant damage killed him. So again, we should get sneak attack here. Oh. Really needed him dead. Okay, well, we'll bring Gale up to finish him off.
What? With haste.
I want to be able to move my Paladin and Shadowheart down and attack the other one, but to do that I have to get this one out of the way. So, a 96% ranged attack or 100% guaranteed damage. Do you think I'm going to miss the 96%er, chat? It would be my luck, wouldn't it? So let's get Shadowheart down here now. Oh, she's constricted.
Survival is all that matters.
Let's get a jump here. Why not? There we go. Oof, that hurt. And that ends that. Okay, again, utilizing a choke point makes things quite a bit easier. If you can take advantage of the terrain, just one more way to give yourself a huge advantage. Yeah. Okay, gorgeous maroon dye. Interesting. Well, it's from Waterdeep, so we're gonna let Gale take a look at it. But we also picked up the Frost Prince. The Frost Prince is an amulet that allows you to cast Ice Knife. Gale right now is semi-cold based. He's gaining an additional dart of magic missile whenever he casts it, and he can cast magic missile once on his own. So the Frost Prince would, benefit from his cold damage applications that he has. We'll put that over here on him. Not sure that I'm going to utilize it for him. And while we're here, let's just up some of these and see what they look like. I'm kind of interested to see. Interesting. I don't like the secondary colors, but there's nothing there at all. And nothing there at all. So, yeah, really just the robe turned into a deep maroon. Like I said, don't necessarily like the teal or the blue color, but interesting. Okay, now here we want to have
A long way to go still.
guidance on.
No, never mind. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Okay, there's nothing out here. I don't think you can jump out here. Yeah, you can. It's all out of bounds. There it is. Okay. Now we can make our way in here. Okay, so another letter to somebody here in the city, and Mr. Swee is who they're looking for. Meet Mr. Lipperdiddle Swires. Send him because he's famous and quite good at helping people and I need help. I have not opened anything up above yet. I just came right down here. But yes, we are certainly going to get that on the way out. There's a whole bunch of bone piles down here, which you just have to kind of mouse over to find, because they do not show up on a left alt. But they are all over down here. Most of it's just generic type of stuff.
Good here, I hope.
Okay, so that clears out all of the east side of the river, except for, like I say, that little tiny section over there. Okay, so we've explored all the stuff over here. We've picked up all of the quest markers that lead us into this side, with the exception of the quest marker for the Masons Guild over here. But now we're going to head up to this top bridge here, and we're going to start exploring across the river a little bit. Actually, you know what we could do is kind of explore around Moonrise a little bit. Now I'd prefer to work up toward from the top down though. So let's head back to the Shadow Battlefield marker. We'll head west out of here. Head right back where we were earlier, and we'll cross this first bridge. And while I'm here, okay, so we need to take a short rest here. So where are we on Gale? So both of his 4th level spells are
All's well that
done.
ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Same with Shadowheart.
Close.
So we'll do some exploring back here.
Don't waste a step. On my way.
And again, we're in an area where if you don't have the Moon Lantern or the Pixie's Blessing, you're going to be able to walk through it. You're just going to start taking necrotic damage, and it will eventually kill you. Okay, so here's the Masons Guild.
what's inside.
Okay, here on the table you can pick up a lump hammer if you'd like, and a withered chiseled set. None of those do anything, they're just items you can sell.
See that symbol on the ground? This was a Mason's guild.
Yes, it was.
Corpses on display. Perhaps someone didn't appreciate the mason's stonework.
And that is very true as well. Okay, so here by this gate, you're going to have your first encounter with something that's going to be somewhat persistent throughout your playthrough. And we'll go out here and kind of look at it. Okay, so here is Corilla. Okay, now we've seen, well, I'm trying to think, have we seen Corilla before in this playthrough? I honestly can't remember if we have or not, and there she goes. So, Corilla, if you haven't encountered her before, is Raphael's apprentice, so to speak. She's out here keeping an eye on you, and she's reporting back what you're doing back to Raphael. And you're going to learn more about that as we explore this northern side of Reithwin Town. And you can see some stuff happening over here, but we already know what that is because this is where we had the fight with Oliver. Well, not with Oliver, with Oliver's friends. This is the location we had that fight, and we talked with Arabella up here. So we kind of know where we are here in this area.
Let's see what this does.
Let this be a warning. Those who defy Shah's will shall suffer darkness without her blessing.
The first time most people meet Corilla, Eric, is in the Goblin Camp. If you end up drinking a potion from Priestess Gut, it puts you to sleep. She puts you in prison. If you fail a couple of rolls to try and get out of prison, Corilla will show up, stab Priestess Gut in the back and kill her, and release you from prison, saying that someone has other plans for you. And it's kind of a mystery up to that point who that other person is. But it is... Okay, so we passed our perception check on the odd-looking bones, but it is Raphael who's keeping an eye on you.
A pile of crushed bones of varying shapes, sizes, and creatures. Here lies the Grand Mason, his bones and lies exposed.
Okay, so interesting. And then here on the table, don't forget, we have the recipe for bark skin. Okay, so that gives you access to an elixir that will give you the bark skin effect for whichever character drinks it. Okay, and bark skin ups your armor class to 16. Okay, so in the back of the Masons Guild here, laying over here on the table, you find another piece of infernal iron. Now this kind of tells you that maybe these weren't entirely just masons. It seems a little strange that they would have some infernal iron just laying around. Possibly there were people here who could work infernal iron, or who were interested in the properties that it has, like Damon was. So kind of lets you know that something isn't necessarily what it seems around here. Trap disarm stuff, thieves' tools. Again, something that seems a little bit odd, out of sorts here. And you can see that there's an ornate wooden hatch over here in the corner. We'll do some searching here in these crates real quick. Okay, and now we're down here in this basement area. You can see there's an elevator here. There's more than one way to reach into this area. Okay, so we'll do some searching down in here. Okay.
Cloak and dagger, my favorite.
Okay, you see we have a keyhole herald over here. Now this is a good question.
I can't waste any more time.
Okay, we do. I was wondering if we had talked to... Okay, so I'm going to move back here.
On my way.
I'm going to break the group. Actually, I'm going to keep it together. I'm going to hide. Now I'm going to break the group.
Should mind my step.
I'm going to come up. I'm going to interact with the keyhole herald.
Has to put my hands on everything.
That uses the tower-shaped key that we got by talking to... Oh, what was his name? The Tiefling Child. And we told him that we needed the key that Maul had given him. Okay, and that's what unlocks this door here. Okay, I can move farther up here. We'll get everybody up here. That's good enough. Yeah, that might have been it, Lord Henry. I'm not entirely sure which of them it was. Okay, congratulations on finding this place, thief, but your journey ends here. And I want to...
This'll help.
Best
Okay.
be on my way.
And we will slowly make our way down this hallway here. Okay.
My faith protects me. What's that?
What is it?
Okay, so the chest is trapped.
Stepping softly. Watch the shadows.
But we also want to check up closer to the door here.
I'll go
Okay,
this
so
way.
we're fine. So we'll take Shadowheart all the way back here.
Don't touch me.
We'll have Astarion pick this. Where is his other ring? Did I send it to camp for some reason? Okay, this is an 18 DC. So it's pretty high. We're going to add in guidance here for this to give us a 10 to 13 bonus. Okay, good enough. Okay, scroll of Sleet Storm, that's always good. And now we will send Astarion back here.
Subtle steps.
There is work to do. None shall see me.
Have to keep going.
Okay, we'll go take a look through this door here.
Here we go.
Okay, so we got obviously a Mason's Guild symbol here on the floor. Now you can see the detection cones pop up. You can start to see the telltale sign of some wraiths here. So we have a wraith here. We have other detection cones that are all around this place. So now on second thought, I'm going to have Astarion start this.
I'm just waiting. Quietly.
Because we have a really long, narrow hallway here in front of us. And I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay, so I rolled first in initiative, and you see we've got 5 shadows and that wraith over here. Now they are surprised. Okay, but you can see they were all hidden. waiting for us to come into this room. So the thing that really gives it away is that the Wraith's shining eyes kind of let you see them inside the room. So we're going to, again, all of our actions are reset. They are surprised. So we've got 2 free turns here, basically. We're going to try and take out the Wraith here. That should get us so we are entirely just in advantage here. I might even be able to hide here with my bonus action and add in sneak attack damage, but I think I'll just take my offhand damage instead. Okay, gotta like the sneak attack critical. Let's get our Dread Ambusher attack. Another crit because he's... And again, if you're unaware why I'm critting so much, so any attack roll against a surprised creature is a critical hit. That is part of the assassin subclass that I've chosen for Astarion here. So even my offhand is a crit. Now all of their surprises are going to wear off. And now I get my turn before they get to go. So we're in the same kind of situation here. I'm not going to have attacks on maybe this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of this Wraith first. Perfect. Now we are going to dash. And we are going to get as far out of here as we can. Because they can shadow teleport. Just like that. Okay, so we have one that's visible, which is good. Ooh, I like the laugh at you. That's pretty ominous. But we're going to click heals again. Okay, so I don't think we have any of them that are visible this time. Okay, and now I want to see if the detection cones are visible or not. I don't think they're going to be. But we're going to move our Paladin up here to the corner.
Never wanted the easy path.
Because we have see invisibility.
Go for the throat.
Yeah, you can see they're all moving. You can see where the areas moved to. They're all moving into this corridor. Okay, we just can't necessarily see the detection cones of where they are.
The mission has
I'd
to
be
come
interested to know if this will work.
first. Need to press onward.
Actually, I don't think it's going to because of their shadow blend ability.
Shall we dance?
There we go. That triggered the combat with the spiritual weapon. Okay, well that was quick. Didn't expect that they'd be able to move up and hit him that hard. So, okay.
Can't give up.
Well, not a big deal. Actually, I was hoping that she would be able to keep her
There's
turn.
blood in the air. Such an undignified position to find oneself in.
Okay, sorry, I'm just thinking here. Thinking how I want to play it. I think I do want to still leave Gale out of it.
Shall we
Yeah, I
cut
think I'm just going to
and
move Astarion behind Shadowheart here.
a better position?
She's got that cone of light around her from Lathander. So I'm going to rely on that for this turn. Because there should be two of them in here. Yep, there he is. Okay, so I was hoping that I'd be able to get a detect invisibility here to make this work. We're obviously triggering Spirit Guardians here. Okay, so this is going to cause all sorts of problems for them. He blinded? He is blinded. Where are the detection cones? Okay. I was a little surprised that my Paladin wasn't detected, but that's because they're all blinded. So, let's just move out here and start destroying the world, I guess. Let's see if I can make it around behind this one. Nope. So here. So, interested to know where the last one is. Oh, there he is. And there he goes. So I was hoping that they would have moved into the hallway and kind of gotten farther down here. And then all their detection cones are facing toward Astarion, and then I could bring Shadowheart in and just burst them all at once. Didn't quite work out that way, but we still ended up with the W, so we're good.
With haste.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
Okay, so we'll do some searching
Check for
around
anything
here.
useful.
Just standard books. But if you don't have the achievement for reading 100 books yet, this is a place to get some ones that you might not have seen before. We got some new clothing options. In chat, can somebody go look something up for me? While I'm doing this, because I'm anxious. I didn't get a chance to do it while I was in between streams. But we ran into superior dark vision. Seemed to be able to see inside of the darkness spell. Can someone go look up the superior dark vision trait and see if that's right or not? See if it allows you to see in magical darkness? Because I'm curious about that. I didn't think it did.
Right at the base of Moonrise Towers. What's that?
Okay, we found the button here on the wall. Okay, we're finding some up-leveled clothing, which is always good. Jake's Encyclopedia of Eels. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. Like I say, I wasn't aware that superior dark vision allowed you to see through magical darkness. I thought all that superior dark vision did was allow you to it doubled the range of dark vision. But dark vision doesn't allow you to see in darkness, in magical darkness. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, it's been a while since I've really looked into the minutia of this. So here we learn about Hallfrid and Morfrid, the two brothers who are gather your allies at last light and let us devise a plan to infiltrate Moonrise. So this is a resistance type of setup here. Okay, you can read the Mason's log. And this explains a little bit of it. How the Thorms are Saloonite through and through, but actually they're not. After the death of his family, he turned to Shar, and so Melodia, his wife, and then his daughters all died, and that's what led into him changing his allegiance. And this is what the Harpers were doing. They were setting up a resistance here to try and fight back against him. Yeah, I honestly can't remember if it was that way in the previous version before the hotfix or not. I'm gonna have to kind of go back
Still alive, so that's
and
progress.
check and see, but it was always my understanding that Superior Dark Vision did not allow you to see through the darkness spell. But whoops, I picked the wrong person there.
A trap.
Okay, so I did find the trap on the chest. This is a 21. So now we're getting into the point, even with guidance, I'm at about a 50-50 shot here. Close.
Oh, for a skeleton key.
Okay, so in here's the Helmet of Arcane Acuity. This is a very good helm for certain types of builds. That whenever you deal damage with a weapon attack, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns. We've looked at Arcane Acuity before, so if you have Arcane Acuity, you gain a +1 bonus to your spell attack rolls and spell difficulty class for each remaining turn. So, if you are dealing like for instance, with your Bard, if you deal damage with your weapon, which is easy for a Bard to do, especially while they're fighting inside darkness in the Bard lock setup that we have, you're going to gain Arcane Acuity quite a bit, and after that time, you're going to continue to get a +1 bonus to your spell attack rolls and spell DC, which means that it's harder for them to resist it. So then being able to take something, like Tasha's or something like that, and really land it against a high enemy boss type enemy is incredibly useful. Arcane Acuity, I have seen a playthrough where they landed, because of the stacks of Arcane Acuity that they racked up fighting some minions, they had 100% chance of landing Hold Monster on Raphael. And that's pretty impressive. If you can stack enough Arcane Acuity that your spell DC goes up high enough that you can land Hold Monster on an end game boss with 666 hit points, and then just beat the living tar out of him until he's dead, is pretty impressive. So Arcane Acuity in the right type of build can be very, very useful. It's probably not something that I'm going to be focused on a whole lot yet. However, I don't really have my full party set up here either.
Deep
We're not at that point. So we'll take a look at it more a little bit later on. So yeah, Eric, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But again, I'll go looking around on the forums and see if anybody's reported it or not, or see if that's how it's always been operating. I may reload an old save, and well, it wouldn't work because I'm in the new patch no matter what. But I don't know. I'll take a look at it. So we did complete the investigate the Selûnite resistance here. So Morfred was the leader of the resistance. He was determined to fight the Sharans however he could, even if it cost him his life. So these 2 quests we picked up last time. Find Arabella's parents. We met Arabella when we were dealing with Oliver And find Zevlor we've had for a bit. So we're trying to find out where Zevlor has gone to. Okay, so that's going to finish off the interior. No, it's not. Come back here, everybody.
Have to keep
Almost forgot. We need to trigger this button here. Scroll of Knock is always good. Invisibility, Potion of Speed, great. In an honor mode playthrough, potions of speed are worth their weight in gold. So in an honor mode playthrough, you're going to want to hoard those things until you get to Act 3. So Shadowheart and Mirror both. That should be good. Now we're all
Can't
good.
slow down.
Okay, so we'll make our way out of the Masons Guild now. I don't think there's anything down here in the middle. Yeah, there's not. But the elevator, you can click on the elevator here. And it will take you up here to this back area of the Masons Guild. And this back area has a set of vines which can lead you over here into this whole area back here. I actually don't think I've gone back here in this little... It doesn't look like there's anything here anyway. Okay, now here in the mausoleum, there are a bunch of tombstones that you can click on throughout this.
Blacksmith of renown. May he make iron sing in the afterlife.
Almost all of these tombstones, there's nothing that happens by reading them.
Here lies faithful Jamie.
Okay, but you can go
the
through
love of all
and
our
learn a
lives.
little bit about the former inhabitants of Reithwin Town.
What's that?
So as you're going through here, most of these DCs, I believe, yeah, are really easy to pass in here. So you really don't have a whole lot of stuff that you need to do to, you know, work through them. They want you to find a bunch of this stuff. So here's True Love's Caress. This is one half of a set of rings that allow you to cast Warding Bond between the two people who are wearing the rings. Now, we've looked at warding bond before. Whoever is the recipient of the bond gains resistance to all damage. So all damage is cut in half, and they gain a +1 bonus to their armor class and saving throws. However, each time that that person takes damage, whoever casts the spell also takes the same amount of damage. So each time the warded creature takes... Yeah, I mean, that's... Anytime the warded creature takes damage, the spellcaster takes the same amount. Now, this warding bond is a condition until long rest, so it's one of those where you can keep somebody... The exploit for this is to keep somebody back in your camp that has the warding bond on, and like a hireling or something like that. And then you can go through all of your stuff out here with resistance to all damage, and then their inside camp, you can just heal up that hireling periodically. So there are some exploits that go along with warding bond itself. This is a set that goes along with 2 rings. You have to find both of them to make it work, though. And we'll find the second one. Boy, even that ring put me over. We'll find the second one here in a little bit. Let me pull out some of this and move it over here. Whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's exactly what the exploit of it is, Eric, is leaving one of your characters in camp to do it. It's, like I say, it's kind of one of those unintended consequence type things that probably really shouldn't be allowed in the game, but it is what it is. So we can make our way around the outside of this now through this hole here in the fence. This will take us along the outside behind the Masons Guild down on the first floor. And these were the double doors that we saw when we were down there. Okay. Then you can head down and around this side. And I know there's nothing down here to worry about, but there are some crates and barrels down here you can search.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
I wish we had a bag of holding too. Okay, so we'll head back up here to the cemetery. And yeah, Eric, that whole thing is one of the ways that honor mode playthroughs are being cheesed. Is by keeping one of your characters in camp anyway, so that you can't party wipe. But then at the same time, while that person is kept in camp, just having that person be the one that casts warding bond. So... Okay, so here you get the Ice Bite robe. So it grants resistance to cold damage and gives you access to the Armor of Agathis level 3 spell. Now, looking at Gale, he's got a high spell casting robe on right now. So he is kind of a little bit, somewhat, cold based just with his snowburst ring, but he's not really got an elemental focus, so to speak, right now. So if we wanted to go something cold based, then we have the opportunity here to get access to Armor of Agathis that we can cast anytime and also gain resistance to cold damage. But again, not something that is going to be in the final full end-all be-all build for Gale. But you're going to see a respec for Gale since he's not in my other party very often. You're going to see a respec on this or on this playthrough for Gale. Okay, so looking at the map here, we're kind of moving up toward the north side here, around behind the Masons Guild. You can see we have some detection cones here. Okay, and we have someone in here named Malus Thorm. That last name should trigger something for you. In that Ketheric Thorm is the antagonist here in Act 2. And they're yellow, they're not red, so they're not hostile. There's an encounter in here that you can deal with, and there's an achievement that goes along with it. So we are going to kind of get ready for this, but we're going to make our way around the outside of this first and explore around the outside before we head in there. There's a way to get in here through these locked doors that are here at the back.
All these Dark Justiciars slain in battle. They must have a stronghold nearby or a temple.
Okay, so she's seeing more Justiciar bodies around here. So she's getting kind of clued in that they might have a temple around here. We're going to move up here, and you see there's another detection cone up here. Somebody else sitting up here. And it's Raphael.
Our hero thought but of treasure ahead, did not consider the peace of the dead. Through the dark he went creeping, and awoke what was sleeping. A new grave they dug, which he himself fed. Until it was perfect. I've grown quite fond of you, you know, in my way. I thought it only fair to warn you about the dangers ahead. Oh, we both know they are soon to be revealed. It would be pointless of me to try to bar you from entering. But I can set the scene, as it were. Prepare you for your role. There is a stage down in the dark upon which a great drama has suspended itself in time. Its actors dwell there still, mired in the languor of their long, tired scenes. If you, however, through the dark, go creeping and awake what is sleeping, chances are many more graves than yours alone will soon be fed.
Oh. I didn't say it, chat, but I did think it in my head that the only way to fail it is with a nat 1. So I guess the D&D gods heard my thought. They cast clairvoyance on me.
Very well. There is a creature that lurks in silence and shadow. A creature who, like me, is very much of the infernal persuasion. Should it make its way out through the very doors you are about to brazenly swing open, you'll have unleashed a pestilence upon this realm. In truth, it is carnage incarnate. So if you meet the devil of which I speak, kill it. Consider no other course of action.
Okay, we have an insight check here that we can make.
This creature and I go back a long way. I admit it would be in my best interest as well should it remain trapped in the dark. Or misplace its head, perhaps? I should not relish its reacquaintance. Let's leave it at that. You have it in you to author a thrilling finale if you heed this warning. Do not underestimate this opponent. At best, you will have the blink of an eye to strike. Strike first, strike true, defy the odds, for they are distinctly in its favor. That much I owe the bastard to concede. And don't think I've forgotten your tale, Astarion. When the beast is dead, I'll consider that payment enough to translate those scars of yours.
A fairer deal than I expected.
You wound me, Spawn. I always deal fairly. And will close this particular deal soon enough. Vanquish the beast, and all will be revealed.
Okay, so Astarion, Raphael wants us to go in there and deal with an ancient enemy of his. There are a bunch of ways to play this area. We are not going to go in here for a long time yet. I'm guessing we are probably 3 live streams before we enter here. What's inside here is the Gauntlet of Shar. It is one of the culminations of Shadowheart's personal questline. It's also part of the main story questline, and it has access to a certain thing that can be incredibly helpful throughout the rest of the game and through the fight that happens at the end of Act 2 here. But what you want to make sure you do is that you don't have to. I take that back. I'm a completionist at heart, which means I'm going to play through and make sure I've done everything that I can.
Fallen members of the Emerald Enclave.
So for here, you want to make sure that you have everything done as far as the side quests go and all that sort of stuff. Before you go in there and complete that, because you're going to be at that point fairly locked into what happens inside Moonrise Towers. So you want to make sure that you have everything inside Moonrise Towers done and taken care of before you go out here or go into the Gauntlet and try and finish it up. Okay. So it's going to be a bit until we get in there. So I am going to go unlock the waypoint. So I can fast travel back here anytime I want. This also allows you to get on top of this area here that has Malus Thorm in it. But before we do that, we're going to head over here.
Hello, you. Gently.
Okay, the first thing we need to do is take our
Shadows.
Paladin over here, though.
Time to press ahead.
And to move, just click on the cragged rock and move him down here to the bottom. But be careful where you're moving around down here. Okay, so we failed the perception check. Okay, so he failed his hide too.
What comes now? Gently does it?
Take Shadowheart down there for a perception check.
Better tread carefully. Unseen. Perfect. Need to press onward.
Okay. Alright. So let's forget about the perception check side of this. I didn't realize that was DC 30.
Unnoticed. Good.
And let's just take our Paladin down here and get close enough to see invisibility. Okay, so there it is. So we've got one here, which is enough. So down here is our cursed Kua-Toa. So these are Kua-Toa that have been taken by the Shadow Curse. They are drenched, which means that any melee attack inflicts wet on the target. Okay, that's important to realize when you're dealing with lightning-based attacks, that if you hit an enemy with a melee attack, it's going to become wet and then becomes vulnerable to lightning damage. So they are Shadow Cursed Undead, so they're resistant to necrotic damage, and they're going to be, yeah, see, they're vulnerable to cold and lightning. So lightning damage against any of them is doubled. They're immune to electrocution, though. So all you need to really do is get access to one of them. Okay, and from here, you have the ability to hit them from range. If you are up here on this top level, they don't realize that you were there. Okay, now that's not all of them. You can see there's a whole bunch more over here.
Just hurry this along.
Most excellent.
Now this is too far, I believe. I mean, you can ranged attack, but I think it's too far for any of the other... Oh, it's not. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. So let's take our Paladin down here now, and we will actually get into combat, because there's a chief left, and there's a couple more, or one more left. And that's it.
Time to press ahead.
Okay, so we're just going to move here around, back around the corner. We'll take a shot first, but it won't really matter. We'll move around back behind him. Oof. That hurt. Okay, and you can see what's happening is that the vulnerability to lightning damage is adding a bunch of additional damage here. Okay, and that's why the charge-bound Warhammer just hits so hard down here. Because they are vulnerable to that damage. Don't have enough to hit him. Okay, well, how about we just move back a little bit then? Well, we'll move out here and take a range shot. And now we'll just move back. Okay, and now it's our turn here. So, going to take and reapply Hunter's Mark first.
Get this over with.
Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. That's some Oppenheimer stuff right there. That is definitely some Oppenheimer stuff. So I rolled a crit. For an attack roll of 29 total, but I rolled a 20, so it didn't matter. 2d8 bludgeoning, plus the charisma modifier from the warlock, plus shadow thief, plus 2 from dueling, plus 4 from my spellcasting modifier from arcane synergy, plus 7 from hunter's mark, plus 4 from savage attacks, led to 39 base damage. Added in 8 lightning damage, added in 2 more acid damage, and then 10d8 radiant, plus another 1d8 radiant from savage attacks. Yep, that's what you call a nuke, alright. That is 90 damage in one attack. That's gonna hurt. Okay, so now you can do some searching down here of all of these guys, and they're all going to have some version of these crafting supplies and other things you can pick up. The chief, however, has the lightning jabber. So the lightning jabber is a spear. So that's important to remember if you're working with a polearm master build or something like that. It has shocking sting, which on a hit you possibly shock your target, so it has disadvantage on dexterity, ability checks, and throws, and saving throws. So they're less able to resist AoE damaging spells and that sort of stuff. When launched at a target, it deals an additional 1d4 lightning damage. So with the Tavern Brawler achievement, or the Tavern Brawler feat, and other things like that, specifically with items that up your throwing damage, the Lightning Jabber, which is fairly innocuous, can actually do quite a bit of damage. So you can see that the damage numbers right now aren't bad at all compared to what I'm doing with my main hand weapon, and you can throw this. So it can be actually fairly impressive from a weapon standpoint. I've seen a couple of playthroughs or videos of people utilizing it and just destroying things with something that's a really innocuous weapon that you find down here. So kind of keep it in mind. It's kind of one of those sleeper things that you don't really find, but yet can
Catch you later, Ellis.
but can be really cool for certain types of builds. Okay, now I can't. Thank you for climbing on the roof. Okay, wooden chest here with some random stuff in it. That was actually the first time I'd tried a lightning bolt from up there. I had no idea it could hit them all the way down here.
What's in here?
That's kind of stupid. Whoops, didn't need to pick up all of the food. Okay, and kind of hidden down here, you almost can't see it. There's a painted chest that has some more crafting supplies in it. So don't forget that it's there. Okay. Now you can make your way down here around this side, and you have another entrance to an ominous crevice. This is something else that, again, we are going to hold off on doing. It leads to another specific area that we're going to want to explore fully in depth. We are going to go do it, just not anytime soon. That one is going to take us even longer to get to, because we're going to finish out most of the gauntlet before we get to where that goes. So I don't think there's anything up here. Yeah, there's not.
No traps, please.
So don't forget the one wooden barrel back here for some water. Now we'll search these last ones down here and we should be able to go back up. Okay, so let's clean out our... Oh yeah, I need to do that. Let's clean out all of our food items so we're not carrying any of those around.
Something smells tasty.
Oops, didn't mean to close that.
My faith protects me.
Let me work my magic.
And Gale's still fine. Let's put his scrolls away. Okay, and then in here,
At least things have stayed interesting.
and put the keys away. Okay, that should be good.
Another step forward.
Now we'll make our way back up. We can continue exploring around this north side, because we're going to explore, like I said, around the outside of that building first.
All right, time to skulk about. Light on my feet.
Okay. So now we'll make our way back around the front here. And now we know that there's nothing over here to really interrupt us or deal with us on. And have I looked at this? Yes, this is the place I was just in, so we'll make our way around this side. Okay, and this is where we met Arabella here. Okay, and now you see what this is. This is the House of Healing. If we still had access to some of the people in the Last Light Inn, you would learn more about this and what it is. You can see we have Sister Lidwin in here, and we're going to go talk to her in a second.
On my way.
Okay, so we're going to make our way around to the front side here. Of the House of Healing. We have an entrance here on the side. You have the main entrance out here in front. Then you have a destination that's over here. And I think actually that's probably a better way to, well, yeah, I think we'll do the House of Healing first. We've got 38 minutes left in this, so I think we can, it's probably a better fit to do this one first. Okay, so here's Sister Cinda in this room. You can see her over here. She's not marked as hostile. Okay, and there is a lot of stuff in here that you can pick up. Okay, I mean, there's a lot. There are all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things in here that you can pick up. Potions of
I'll take
sleep. Okay. You're really not going to need them anymore at this point, though. Okay, the surgeon's memorandum here. So it's saying that basically you're wasting supplies on the elderly and the mortally wounded. So you need to quit doing that, because if they die, they go see Shar anyway, and we don't want to prevent that. We want that to happen. So you can see it's kind of some morbid stuff, you know, going on in here and happening around here. So this back door here leads you out right where we are into, into this room here, and it's got Sister Lidwin. So we're going to come in this room.
Time to press ahead.
We're going to close the
Here
door.
we go.
We're going to talk to Sister Lidwin.
Something's on my mind.
Don't call the doctor yet. I've got potions, sutures. I know I can do this. Oh, you're a patient. This is the children's ward. Triage is back that way.
His corpse. It's Arabella's father. The horror of his end I daren't contemplate.
Okay, so these are Arabella's parents that are here.
Not dead. Merely medicated to ease the pain. I knew these hands would not fail me. The patient is sure to recover. Not much left now, but you're welcome to look.
Okay, so Sister Lidwin can sell you some items here. The big things that she has are the toxins. So she has all sorts of toxins of every type. One of the things to focus here is Carabasan's poison. This is a paralysis poison. You coat your weapon with poison. This can be ranged and it can be melee. And if once you make a hit with it, they have to succeed a Constitution saving throw or become paralyzed and poisoned for 10 turns. That is stupid. Paralyzing a target and giving you guaranteed critical hits in melee, it's a win button is what it is, as long as they do not succeed the Constitution saving throw. Now, didn't we learn last stream about ways to drop an enemy's ability to resist Constitution saving throws? And that's what I mean about Carabasan's poison. Now, you can cheese this a little bit in that you can buy her out here. You can go and long rest, come back and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Okay, so Carabasan's poisons they really should be marked as not just rare, but very rare, because if you prep your target right, these are a way to just overcome any enemy that you have in the game. And this is why on Honor Mode, Sister Lidwin is one of the more important traders that you can have at this point in the game. So keep her in mind, especially if you're doing this on higher difficulties, that conversation to convince her that she's done and turn her into a trader is very, very important for you, for the progression of your playthrough. So we are absolutely going to pick up all of these. We're also going to pick up all of her potions that she has here. Now, I would highly recommend that if you're going to farm her, if you're going to long rest, come back, that you up her attitude toward you by just giving her a bunch of gold up front. Or, I mean, that's, like I say, the most common way to do it is just give her a bunch of gold up front. And then sell off all your stuff after to get that gold back, and then buy her out of all of this stuff so it's cheaper to buy it. Just, like I say, a fairly important trader that's stuck in the back middle of nowhere,
now,
and you don't think
if you'll
about.
Excuse me, I've got to tend to my patient.
Okay, so we'll take Shadowheart here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Zevlor. Betrayed. Ran. Shelter.
The corpse remains silent. It does not know.
Eldurel. Surgeon. Sisters. Look. Husband to Chimera. Father to Arabella.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so confirmed that the surgeon and the nurses in here are the ones who killed him. So they are not as innocent as things may seem
No
here.
one stopped me yet.
Okay, so we're gonna make our way out here and around. Staff bedding pool about what the doctors and nurses were doing. Nothing in particular here. And you have Shar's Temptation. And people ask me all the time, why do you search every crate everywhere? It's stuff like this. It's just randomly hidden in things. That's the reason that I do it. Shar's Temptation gives you Charm Person. Now, what's important about Charm Person is that you can use Charm Person in your dialogue checks with NPCs. This allows you to cast Charm Person when you're dealing with those interactions without even having access to the spell. So if you're going into somewhere you know you've got some fairly difficult dialogue checks to do, then this can certainly help add a modifier onto that to help you do it. So it's not something you're going to wear all the time or anything like that, but it certainly can help you when you're out of combat dealing with that sort of stuff.
I bet that'll fit in my pack.
So we can make our way around to the other side here. Another note here, just asking for supplies. Malus Thorm is in charge of this place, and he's going through supplies on his experiments like crazy.
Open up.
Okay, and then you can, as we move into here, you can see we have a rustic chest with some more crafting supplies. We have a skeleton here, and on this skeleton is the second half of the True Love's ring set. True Love's Embrace. So this is the ring that allows you to cast Gentle Warding Bond on the person who was wearing the other ring. Okay, so this is where you find the 2 sets of it. If you read the journal here, you find out that Miranda, these were Sharan clerics, and they were married, and Miranda faced down every one of the Harpers, and she said that, she was heading off and gonna leave him at the House of Healing, and he died here, and this is where the ring comes from. So that's the other half, and again, people ask me, why do you search random skeletons all the time? That's part of the reason why. Okay, there's a book here on potions and elixirs. Nothing really special. There's a heavy chest that's marked steel, so you don't want to deal with it yet. Okay, we're going to go down here and we're going to talk to Sister Cinda.
I should speak up.
Here to see the doctor? Are we poorly? Are we desperately poorly? Oh, not so well. But well enough to wait. Join the line, and you will be seen. Yes, yes, but all must wait. The doctor's hands are full. Join the line. You will be seen.
Okay, so we have some options here. So it looks like persuasion is my best bet. Okay, it's a 16 DC. Oh, jeez.
There's a hint of recognition in her eyes as she studies you.
The unseen wounds of war. The doctor's hand will close them. Down to the theater. Be swift. Be saved.
Okay. So now we can make our way down here to the theater. And there are a couple of different ways into this. You can go up here on top. Enter up here, and we can go explore that first. You can take these paintings down off the wall.
Keep your distance, darling. Moving.
It would be just like Astarion to just steal everything under the sun, right?
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay. Now you have these buttons. There's one down here. There's another one up here. You can see more about that a little bit later on. This is basically an elevator that takes you up to an upper area that we are going to be visiting.
My step.
Okay, so now we get this encounter down here. The encounters that you're going to get into in Reithwin Town all have a mechanic to them. Meaning you can't just hack and slash your way through stuff. Well, you can. You just have, it takes a lot longer to do it, and you have a higher chance of dying. So the mechanic here is that the surgeon's going to want to operate on you. Now, you can talk your way out of all of these encounters so that you don't have to fight at all through any of them. You're going to have to pick some very specific dialogue options, and you're going to have somebody who's got some persuasion expertise to be able to make it through all of them. But one of the things that that Larian has done here is they've kind of gone away from the pure hack and slash method of things that you've gotten used to. There's now mechanics, and the mechanic for this is that he's going to want to operate on you, and that is going to be based upon how the nurses, what tools they have, and how they are attacking you. Now, there's a couple of different ways to play this out. Like I said, there's a lot of dialogue options that can go along with this. And part of this is that there's also an achievement. And the achievement is to kill Malus Thorm before he has a chance to operate on you. Now, you can play this normally, leaving everybody alive, and basically kite him around and or immobilize him while you kill his nurses off so that he never gets a chance to do his operation attack. But there's an easier way to do this if you're looking to get the achievement. Okay, so he has this multi-attack wounded. So if his hit points are less than 40%, he kind of goes into a rage where he's able to multi-attack. He also has magic resistance, so he has advantage on saving throws against all spells. So you're not going to be able to just Tasha's Hideous Laughter him or Hold Monster him without having some serious luck in that roll. He also has turn resistance, so he is undead, but he has advantage on the saving throw against that. Now, he's resistant to all forms of melee damage, and he's resistant to fire damage, but nothing else. Right? His nurses, they are fairly straightforward undead. Resistant to fire, resistant to necrotic, but you can say they all have different weapons that they have. A syringe, an awl, a bone saw, stuff like that, that they have. And that all plays into the mechanic that goes along with this fight. Okay?
That's a friendly
so
shadow.
I'm going to pull everybody kind of back here around the corner. I'm going to go in here with my Paladin. I'm going to start a conversation. I need to do... Well, I don't have to. It would be easier if I did, though. We're going to take the silver pendant and swap it here to me.
Only with unwavering hand can we show our subject mercy. The objective of the Scalpel Sisters is to soothe. For the scalpel indeed is an extension of Shah. See how the patient reacts when I but stroke the right nerve. Hear its comfort, hear the very melody of mercy. Pray, sister, show us the extent of your beneficence. Stop. Stay your hand, for it slaps where it should stroke. We can hardly hear the patient's sighs of solace. Perhaps it is our unexpected audience that makes you quiver. Come, step forward. You are no sister, but that matters none. Every student is welcome.
Absence.
Absence. No other word captures the heart of Shah so very perfectly. It is the scalpel-led journey that leads from pain to peace. See? What is the light of eyes but the
cancer that causes one to witness the laceration of being. If light is the symptom, then darkness is the cure. For in light there is presence, but in darkness there is absence.
In light is presence, in darkness, absence.
You are well on your way, but one white orb disfigures you still. Let us finish the cure.
Okay, so you have some checks here that you can make to deal with. But let's try the persuasion option here. This is going to be interesting as to whether or not this might break my oath. Because obviously, as the Oath of Vengeance Paladin, I want to just go in here and start an attack. I'm not entirely sure how what happens as a Paladin. We'll go through it and see what happens. But we can try some of these others, but I'm going to go with Persuasion here first. The Investigation and Religion checks are going to help you learn how the mechanic of this fight works. I wish I'd have saved that roll for
Their incisions are as yet still streaked with imprecision. That much I must concede. How to steady their hands, I wonder.
Okay, so here. Got a higher DC. So I have a 50-50 shot here on this. I could instead change this to friends and gain advantage on this. I would lose 1d4 here from guidance, but I would gain advantage on it. And I think I'm going to do that.
Yes, for are we not all in need of a cure? The scalpel does not discriminate. Let each and every one of you partake in its soothing journey. Absence, sisters, acquaint yourselves. It is a proud moment when one sees one's teachings so lovingly taken to heart. You are to be commended for their graduation, rewarded with the promised cure. Come, I will acquaint you with the lady's dark-fingered embrace.
Okay, so you have another final persuasion check here to try and make him kill himself. Now I've lost all of my bonus. I've lost the favorable beginnings bonus and everything else. So my options here are going to be fairly limited. I've got a bonus of 7. I've got advantage, so we'll see how it goes. But I need to roll pretty high for this to pass. And I didn't. Okay, I do have 3 inspirations, so why don't I try one more roll?
Your diligence is exemplary. Very well. Your own scalpel you will be. Observe, then succeed me into the succor of Shah.
Okay, so this is a theme that you are going to become acquainted with throughout this section of Act 2, in that you really are beholden to your powers of persuasion if you want to make your life easier as you play through this. In honor mode, this is why the bard and or the paladin as your main character, or having one in your party, is so critical to that type of playthrough, is because you can avoid all of the legendary attacks, all of the high hit points, all of the spells that they have. You can avoid all of that just by having the powers of persuasion. And in this particular playthrough, I could have gone in here and just started the combat and certainly won it without much issue. But I wanted to try and show you a little bit of how it could be played, and if it didn't work out, I'd still only be fighting him. So you're going to see this a lot. We won't do this very often because you can do this with all, that one definitely. So I know out of the other members of the family, you can do it with at least 2 out of the 3, where you don't have to fight at all. But see, 276 hit points, he's no slouch. Okay, when you get onto honor mode, things get even worse. So just kind of keep that in mind. And again, these things all play in to the mechanic. They all have these different types of devices that they have. They also have Karabasan's gift. These are paralytic poisons, but again, these are like drinkable ones, not the ones you coat your weapons with. And Malus. So Malus has a battered lute on his body. As soon as you pick this up, or is it when you examine it? Okay. Oh, yeah, duh. I keep forgetting where I am. No, that battered lute is going to do nothing. So, that battered lute does nothing. You have the Surgeon's Subjugation Amulet. This is another one of those win buttons that you need to have available to you. Once per long rest, when you score a critical hit on a humanoid, the wearer can paralyze the target for 2 turns. Okay, so just like Karabasan's gift poison that you can put on your weapons, here, once per long rest, whenever you get a crit, you can also choose to paralyze the target. And that is a choosable option, and you'll see kind of what I mean here. So the other things are all really good too. But for instance, if I put this on, I pull up my reactions. Paralyzing critical is I can choose to ask whenever I apply it. So you don't have to take this every time, the first time you get a crit, it's going to apply. You can choose when to apply this. So you can get crits on other targets, but then at the same time hold off on getting that crit on your main target until you want it to. Now, the good thing about this is that we have somebody in our party who, whenever they surprise people, is guaranteed to get a crit. And that means that we can guarantee ourselves the ability to paralyze a target once per long rest. So Astarion is a good choice for this. However, if you are going down the route where you are expanding your critical chance, so you've got a main fighter type or something like that where you have chosen to go down the route of critical hit chances reduced by 1, this ability can stack. You know, like the Knife of the Undermountain King, where the number you need to roll a crit is reduced by 1, then you may want to have that amulet on somebody else. But for the most part, Astarion with his assassin subclass is the one who is going to be guaranteeing themselves the ability to get crits the most often. All right. So I keep it there, and that way I can start combat with Astarion, and I can possibly paralyze the main leader of the group or something like that. And then I can get my other characters into place to be able to get all the critical hits I want on that main character. This is going to come into play in a couple of other encounters where I'm deliberately not going to pick the options to let them kill themselves. Being able to paralyze them and just burst them down for 2 turns is one of the easiest ways to complete those encounters. Okay. So now I think where we are, it's time for us probably to go sell off a bunch of stuff, and I think what I'm going to do is take care of all of that off stream. And because I've got Shadowheart in the party, I'll leave the silver pendant over here on Astarion. So when we get into conversations and that sort of stuff, we have somebody who can cast guidance if we don't have Shadowheart in the party anymore. So that did not cure his... There we go. Okay. So I think with that, that gets us to a good point to call the save today. Now it's important to remember one last thing before we go, is that that was Malus Thorm. Again, you're going to see another kind of clue as we go through this town, how important the Thorm family was to the city. We're going to see a lot of Thorm family members, and we're all going to quickly realize that all of them have been brought back from the dead in one way or another. And they've been brought back from the dead by Ketheric. So we are slowly kind of once and for all, well, not once and for all, because undead in D&D are never really dead. For the most part, there are ways to make sure that they are, but we're slowly kind of coming at this by weeding out the rest of Ketheric's family before we get to Ketheric. And you're going to see some really messed up individuals in Ketheric's family as we go through this. And Malus is probably the least of them. Things are going to get interesting as we go. And we're going to also learn a little more about Isabel and how that plays into this whole thing as well. So in our next live stream, we're going to continue playing through the west side of the river here. We have some stuff we can clear out over here. There's a very, very important encounter that we're going to have right about here. Outside of the House of Healing. And we will deal with that. Then we are going to pick up the ledger inside the Waning Moon, and in the Waning Moon we're going to have another encounter with another of the Thorm family. And then we're going to head to the toll house. And in the toll house, we are going to find the third of the 4 family members of Ketheric. And again, there's another mechanic that goes along with that fight there, as well as a mechanic that goes along with the fight in the Waning Moon. And it'll be interesting to show those to everybody. We've seen how to talk our way through a fight. Now we are going to see how to manage the mechanics and fight our way through these, while at the same time letting us know how to get another achievement here in the toll house. So with that, I'd like to say, as a reminder, again, we have the Starfield live stream that'll be this Wednesday, and then we'll be back here at the same times, the morning and afternoon, next Saturday. We are quickly coming to the end of the NFL football season here in the US. So the Super Bowl, the final game of the season, is February 18th, which is a Sunday. So for the next 3 weeks, we are going to have 2 live streams on Saturday, as we always do. But then when we get to the 24th, which is the first weekend after the Super Bowl is finished, we're going to go back to our normal live streaming times, which are 1 in the morning on Saturday and 1 in the afternoon on Sunday. So the Paladin stream, which is now at 2 to 5 p.m. Saturday, will be 2 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Central Daylight Time, on Sunday instead of Saturday. That makes my schedule a lot easier. Right now, my whole Saturday basically is taken up with the live streams, and that's great. You know, I certainly don't mind doing it, but having things spaced out where I have part of Saturday and part of Sunday available to do errands and things around the house and that sort of stuff is certainly useful. So we'll go back to our normal times starting the 24th. Pay attention to the community tab, and we will have a post about that and change the schedule to reflect that. So again, thank you all for being here. Again, as always, without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.